Hot Sam's, again, it's 104. So this is a business that was built long before I was here.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's another thing. I think our generation, right? I'm 43. But I think our generation has a responsibility to also preserve the legacy, preserve what was built before we got here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just felt that call strongly, like preserve the legacy of this store. And so what does that look like? That looks like, just keeping the integrity of the store, what the store was founded on, what it has always meant to the community, what it means to the people. And I'm just enhancing that.
If you're looking for a space that feels like yours but comes with way more perks, then Bamboo's dedicated desk is exactly what you need. Now, when you sign up for a dedicated desk, what you'll get is an ergonomic chair, so your back won't be hurting while you're getting your work done. You'll also get free coffee and tea daily in order to fuel your grind. And don't forget, you get mail services and printing services right at your fingertips. And also, you get your own personal storage with the lockbox for your security and peace of mind. And it doesn't stop there. Just by being a member of any of the Bamboo locations, you get access to discounts from local businesses. So if you're ready to join the Bamboo community and find a space that's yours, what I need you to do right now is to go ahead and email Malika at bamboocowork.com or give them a call at 313-766-0134 and tell them that the Black Fridays podcast sent you. And right now, while the desks are available, if you sign up for a 6-month commitment, you'll get 1 month free. Or if you sign up for a 12-month commitment, you'll get 2 whole months free. I look forward to seeing you at the Bamboo locations. With that being said, let's get into the episode. What up, though, Black Fridays family? Welcome back to another installment of the Black Fridays podcast. Before we kick off today's episode, I need you to hit that like button, subscribe, drop a comment, and then also share some videos with family, friends, and loved ones so that we can keep this thing going. Now that I got that out of the way, I got somebody in the building today that is building and preserving legacies right here in the city of Detroit. Ms. Lauren Stovall, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for pulling up on us.
Yes.
And you are a part of the historic Hot Sam's Detroit legacy and would love to be able to talk to you about, well, first, I would love to know, in terms of you building legacies and preserving legacies, what does it mean for you to build? What does it mean for you to preserve legacy?
I know, it's such a crazy thing. Would you believe, like, my title at Hot Sam's, which is my family business, by the way. So Hot Sam's is my family business. It is the oldest men's clothing store in downtown Detroit. So we sitting strong at 104 years old.
Yes.
But actually, it's the oldest men's clothing store in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I created this title. It just kind of organically came, but it's called the Legacy Preserver. When someone asks, what do I do at Hot Sam's? I'm the Legacy Preserver. It didn't start out with that title, but over the years, that title just came to me. And so you think, like, what is a legacy, preserver? And what I started noticing about Hot Sam's, and I'm going to answer that question, but what I started noticing about Hot Sam's working in that as my family business is that it was a legacy business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a term now. Legacy, we hear that a lot now. I believe, like, when I started saying it, I don't know that it was a word that we used often. Not that I invented it, but I think it just, I started noticing, like, what Hot Sam's meant to the city of Detroit.
Yes.
And this is something I didn't know. I mean, it's my own family business, but I didn't recognize what this business meant to the city. I started hearing about that from people telling me what the store meant to them. And so I came to the understanding that, what I'm doing here is not just the marketing director. That was my initial title. You coming in, you do marketing, you young. This is what the older people say. You young, can you do that technology?
Right.
Can you do that marketing for me? And I did go to school for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where I came into the store at, was doing marketing. But even preserving the legacy, it still is marketing, right? But it's really about just sustaining what has already been built. Hot Sam's, again, it's 104. So this is a business that was built long before I was here. And you know what? That's another thing. I think our generation, right? I'm 43. But I think our generation has a responsibility to also preserve the legacy, preserve what was built before we got here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just felt that call strongly, like preserve the legacy of this store. And so what does that look like? That looks like just keeping the integrity of the store, what the store was founded on, what it has always meant to the community, what it means to the people. And I'm just enhancing that. I'm bringing, some of my ideas to that. I am bringing creativity, but to what was already built. So the foundation is there. I think like it's a cornerstone business. Any legacy businesses, they're a cornerstone.
Mm-hmm.
That means we're building on top of something that was already there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I came in to do. I'm just enhancing and elevating, and adding some creativity and some maybe new age, you could say,
Mm-hmm.
to what was already built.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what, preserving legacy is to me. It is maintaining and sustaining what was already there, what has already existed.
To that point, I would love to know, so your father and business partner had acquired the business years ago, and so you say it's a 100-year-old business, and that predates them as well. So, so once they acquired the business, in terms of legacy, preserving it, building it, do you know or have you heard stories about what it was like for them in terms of what Hot Sam's was previously, and then what they were able to turn it into?
I know, yeah. And I can remember even just being a child. So it was around the corner from where we are now. So we moved into what was called the Campus Martius building. In 2004. That was the new shiny building. And we moved in there in 2004. But prior to that, we were right around the corner on Brush Street, 1317 Brush Street, I believe. That building has been torn down, and there is some high-rise condos, apartments that are now built on top of that. But the store was started by a Jewish family, Sam Friedman, the Friedman family. And it was always a family-owned and operated business, even when it was under their ownership. They had their family, right? The Jews, they're going to bring their family into it, right? And so it was even that is still preserving the legacy of it still being family-owned and operated. Hot Sam's has always been family-owned and operated, even when it was owned by the Jewish family, the Friedman family, and now unto being owned by my father, Tony Stovall, and his partner, Cliff Green, who both worked at Hot Sam's. They were salesmen at Hot Sam's. And, worked their way all the way up to ownership of that store, and they bought it in 1994. So it was, there was Hot Sam's, there was Broadway, there was Sermons, there was J.L. Stone, and all of these are all men's clothing stores.
Yeah, was City Slickers down there too?
City Slicker, they still there. They're a shoe store.
Okay.
They selling clothes now though too, but back then they were strictly shoes. But now they are selling clothes a little bit, and but none of them are there. It's only Hot Sam's and City Slicker that remain today, right over in that area. Right, and so we've always been in that area. We just literally moved around the corner. But back then, the customer was the mayors, was the businessman, was the drug dealers, was the hood dudes, was the musicians, the workers. It was that who was coming into Hot Sam's, into all of those stores. And what I remember from stories is that they used to just work together. If Hot Sam didn't have something, they would call over to the Broadway. Hey, I got a customer that needs something that we don't have, but you got it, and even walk the customer over there. City Slicker and Hot Sam's, we still do that today, and I love that. It just kind of puts me in that era when they all used to do that. And I don't know many stores that will literally walk the customer over there. You know what I'm saying? We walk a customer over with a suit. I'm talking, we walking, they're right there across the street, right? And we're walking with the suit to go match it up with some shoes that City Slicker might have. And City Slicker does the same. Come over with a shoe, you got a suit to match this. I just love kind of that nostalgia and just that working together. I think we need more of that, today, because there's not a competition per se. But you would think, right? Because those are all men's clothing stores. They all sell similar things, but they all worked together. But there was something that I remember my father telling me kind of what he didn't like under the ownership of the Friedman was how they kind of started treated some of their Black customers. My father, as a salesman, kind of told me he didn't appreciate how they treated some of their customers, which were their Black customers, which was the base. That was their clientele, was that Black customer. And I mean, right, Detroit is a Black city. It is majority Black, and that's still true today. And so my father said he just didn't kind of like how they treated some of the customers. And I think that was one thing when they bought the store that they wanted to, I mean, obviously, of course, change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. So some of those things kind of stood out. Also one of the things when my father and Mr. Green, who is my father's business partner, went to buy the store from the Freeman family, what they really wanted to do was purchase the building. And while the Freeman family, allowed them to buy the business, and that was a great feat, but they did not make it easy for them, quite challenging for them to buy the building. I think, and that's like one of the biggest things that we kind of wish that the store did was able to purchase the building, right? Ownership of property. And they just kind of, they tried and they went to court and they just, kind of put their hands up with it. But it's like those type of things I think about sometimes when I look at my father and Mr. Green in the store today. I think about all of the things that they endured, just from working there to purchasing and still unto today. It kind of could even bring tears to my eyes because I just see them. They're still working in the store today. My father and Mr. Green, they work every day. They have an off day here and there, but they work. I mean, they're still staples in the store. I have thoughts around that too. I want them to pull back a little bit, but I think they love it though. It's not, it's not hard work for them. This is something that they love anyway. So those type of things I'm interested in. I love those things about businesses, and that is why I wanted to preserve what they have built.
Love that. Yeah. And so now we're going to have a little bit of fun on Black Fridays, which is my favorite part.
Fun part.
That's Freestyle Fridays. Hey, listen, thank you all so much for listening to this episode and any episode of the Black Fridays podcast. But I got to be honest with y'all. I really think it's something missing, and I hate that y'all didn't notice it. The thing that's missing is your podcast. Why am I not listening to your podcast? You talked about making one with your friends years ago. You know that you need one to better market and promote your business, but yet you still don't have one. This is why I created the Pocket Podcasting course, to teach you how to be able to podcast with the essentials and tools that you have right at your fingertips in order to create. And I created 2 different ways in order for you to do that. You could join my digital do-it-yourself on-demand video recorded Pocket Podcasting course, where I go literally step by step from idea on how you upload your very first podcast episode. And for my people who like to have something a little bit more tangible, I have created a digital ebook that walks you through my podcasting journey, the things I've learned along the way, the tools and equipment that I use in order to create and elevate my show. Now, look, I don't want to keep you too long, but I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Go ahead and head over to www.blackfridayspod.com to learn more about the digital podcast course and also the podcasting ebook, or you can hit the links in the show notes to take you directly to each of those resources. All right, enough of that. Time to get back into the episode. So I don't know if you rap, you do poetry, sing, dance.
No. No. So I don't know what we gonna do. I do not. I always want to freestyle, but I do not know how.
Okay.
So I hope no.
Okay.
I cannot.
Well, we can do rapid fire questions then, if that works for you.
Okay.
All right. So first, I want to know if you could describe your style to someone who you never met before. How would you describe your style?
Unique was the first word that came to mind. Just unique. I feel like I've always just been a unique person in style. I love vintage clothing. I used to always wear vintage. I now mix a little old with the new. It's kind of my style. Yeah.
Nice. Who would you say has the most style in your family?
I mean, hey, we're going to say my dad. We all kind of, I have 2 sisters. It's just 3 girls and my mom and my dad. But I'll give it to my dad. We all have a unique style, though.
Okay.
And like a set apart style. But my dad.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that you are a woman of faith. So do you have a verse or Bible verse or a go-to gospel song that you would share with us?
I will have a Bible verse because I just read it in Psalms 27. One thing I desire of the Lord, that which I will seek, that I will dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. It's one of my favorite verses.
Amen.
Amen.
Do you favorite place to travel?
I do love traveling. I have not traveled lately. We just came back from Cabo for my younger sister's birthday. I'll say Cabo, but even locally, this is kind of local, but I love Arizona lately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like a little AZ, just a little dry heat and hiking out there. Yeah. I don't know. That's coming to mind.
Okay. Very dope. If you could go back in time and you could spend time with your dad and Mr. Green in the store or one day, what would you do with them back in the day? If you went back to when they were your age, let's say, and your current age and you go back to hang out with them for a day.
Like go to work day? Back in the day. I don't know. I'd probably just sit under them and just kind of watch them work and, just glean from them and just learn and listen from them. I think they got some wisdom, and they do. They do. They have some wisdom that I see their wisdom now today. I wonder when they were my age, I want to see some of the foolishness maybe, right? Because I think you probably had to mature into wisdom, right? And so I would be curious to see some of their foolish ways too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for partaking in Freestyle Fridays.
That wasn't that bad.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So want to go back and asking you about, so I know that you said you have a marketing background, and then so that's what, when you came into working at the store, that's the expertise that you brought with you. But even though this is the family business, you didn't always work for the family business. You obviously had your own life and carved your own path and experience. So I wanted to know what got you into the family business and being able to create this title of the Legacy Preserver. What brought you into the fold? Yeah,
it was not something I had a desire to do, to be honest. So I was gone for 9 years. I went to FAMU, Tallahassee, Florida, the best HBCU. And so from 2000 to 2009, I was gone. And even prior to then, as a young girl, I would work in the store, maybe summertime, kind of work in the store and just be in the store. But being away and gone for 9 years, and when I came back in 2009, Detroit was so different to me. Think back to 2009. To me, that was at the beginning, kind of the beginning stages of what we see now.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. And, but I just kind of saw the change that was happening, the shift that was happening. I remember having to really figure out my place in Detroit. Just being gone for that time. I had to really, and I think about that when I hear people moving back and they'll tell me kind of they don't know what to do. And I can remember being that where do I fit in here? Do you know what I'm saying? What am I going to do here? And so I knew I needed to work. And it was not Hot Sam's that I was, drawn to work. I didn't just say, oh, no, I can always, work at the family business. It wasn't interesting to me because, so I didn't have the legacy mind of Hot Sam's. And I'm like, I don't sell men's clothing. You know what I'm saying? That ain't, so I don't know what I'm going to do with the family store. That's all, X that. So I worked in corporate America there was an AT&T headquarters down here on Michigan Avenue that had just opened that call center.
Yep.
And so I worked at that call center and with a headset in my cubicle and took calls back to back. And let me just say that drove me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I gave it 1 good year and I realized, okay, so this is not how I can work. Right. So that's for somebody that's not for me. Right. So I can't be tethered to what I was tethered into, the cubicle, to the headset, right? And so that literally kind of drove me a little crazy into a therapist because for I was going in through a depression and a bit of stress. That's a high stress, high level stress job. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know that was a thing.
And daily.
Yes.
Yeah, daily stress.
I'm talking about to the point that I would go in there and they had these doors that closed, boom. It was like you felt like you were going into prison. Mm-hmm. Well, that's how it took me. It took me there. I felt like I was literally walking into prison every day. And so I left. I gave it a year and I left. And there was no, at that time, there was no growth. I felt like I had reached the pinnacle of what I could attain from the call center. And there was not a lot of opportunity for growth at that time within the company. And so I'm like, I've reached the ceiling here in 1 year. And so I got a job, started working with a nonprofit, which I still currently work with, and also started working again with a family business. Let me try this again. Let me go in here and clean some things up. So what I started noticing, again, I'm looking at Detroit and I'm looking at Hot Sam's, and I have a different lens now because now I've been here and I'm watching Detroit and I'm looking at Hot Sam's, and I said, okay, look, we got to change some things up in here because the city is changing, right? The city is looking a little fresh, and we were looking a little outdated. The store physically was looking outdated. We had just had this carpet. It was kind of dark. And so I said, we have got to keep up with what is happening right around us. I'm like, we're the oldest men's clothing store, but we can't look like it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's great that we can't be looking like that. So I'm talking about, ripped up the carpet, painted, and then, started getting us online and just kind of bringing in, again, some of those marketing and creative ideas to the store. And it was working. People were liking what they see, started engaging more. I mean, and these are things that, in terms of relationships, like my father and Mr. Green, they're very involved in the city. Have sat on different boards and been a part of different committees, in the city. And so that was there as well. But, they're getting older, right? And so I felt like a call to step in and do more. And so that was kind of where it started. Did I answer your question?
You did,
What
yeah.
was your question?
Yeah. What brought you back into the fold, or what brought you into the fold of the family business? That was my original question.
Looking at the city and looking at Hot Sam's and saying we need to elevate. We need to change some things. We need to, you know what I'm saying? We had to get with the rhythm of what was happening, right? And not lose who we are, though. Right? Because there's this, not lose who we are. We still are who we are. And I think, this is what I love. All of our Google reviews and things speak to the experience that people have in the store. It's unmatched. It can't even really be taught. And so we still have that. And I'll be honest, there were some of those things that I wanted to change. I'm like, why we got to yell across the store? Can we just walk over there? And that's just kind of the atmosphere of the store. It's like a Cheers. It's like a barbershop. And I kind of remember saying, can we tweak some of that? Can y'all? But you know what? And first of all, you got to choose your battles, right? And so I'm like, all right, we're going to keep if that's how y'all want, because it's that type of store. And I just kind of thought it was a little, I was like, can we just dial it back a little bit? But you know what? People love it. And people they feel like they're at home in the store. Yeah. Right. And so some of those things, right, that we have to keep those, the integrity of the store, the community aspect of the store. But some things needed to change. Right. And so, and we're still changing.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I got in at.
And I can attest to some of those testimonials that you had mentioned, because I was able to, when I first moved back, I needed some pants that to be tapered for a wedding or something like that. And I went into Hot Sam's real quick. I was working right down the street. So I'm like, let me stop in here and see if they might be able to help me out. They took care of me, no issues, made me feel like I was at home, and helped me understand different, things about how I should wear my pants and stuff like that. So it's definitely that type of vibe when you go into the store and you get that type of service, which we don't see a lot of places nowadays. And so I just wanted to ask you, how would you describe the Hot Sam's brand to folks who may have not had that experience or opportunity to interact with Hot Sam's just yet?
We're very engaged in your entire process from entry into the store. We walk you through the store. And you're right. What you're speaking about is what people say that they do not see. It's very self-serve. When you go into stores, it is, they may acknowledge you, they may not.
Right.
Right. But you help yourself. Hey, and we'll see you at the checkout counter.
Yeah.
But at Hot Sam's, it's, hey, how you do? First of all, we know your name. We know your kids' names. So we ask you how your wife, how your grandkids. Do you know what I'm saying? We know the family, because we also serve generations, right? So there's people, right? There's just a gentleman that came in today, going to homecoming, get his first suit. So we got homecomings, we got proms, but we also have funerals, we have weddings. So we're very that store where all of these different occasions, we're servicing you there. And so it's just an experience. It's just a Cheers. It's a barbershop. It's a tailor shop. It's a men's shop. So it's all that in one. It's just a good time. And so, yeah, people are, they love the experience in the store. Because I can't say that we have the best clothing, right? We probably would say we do, but
Mm.
it's not just that, right? It's not. And you can't just be that because there's somebody else who got better suits. There's someone else who has better clothing, right? And so it's like, well, what else you got? Because I can get clothing from somewhere, but what about your service? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so quick to leave a place. If I don't have good customer service, I'm out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of there. Right? So even I think of me as a consumer, and then I see how we engage and interact and so involved in the customer experience in the store. And again, our reviews speak to that. That is what is keeping people coming. That is why we have repeat customers. That is why new customers come in and they feel so at home. And we're seeing a new, we're seeing a new man come through these doors. Now, I remember people just be like, is Hot Sam's a black store? First of all, what is that? I don't know how I feel about that. What is a black? I mean, yes, it's black owners. Yes, it's black owned and operated.
Mm.
Yes, it is that. But it's like, what does that mean? I mean, it's just for black people? I don't get that. And but I feel like we used to, I don't know, kind of hear that. But so I love seeing, all different people of all different races from in town and out of town come in and also feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Hot Sam's is home.
Yeah.
For many people, for many men.
Yeah. What is it like being able to work with a 100-year-old brand and being able to find different ways to be able to innovate? So I'm sure it's an ongoing process, because if you think about anybody who's had longevity with anything, you have to be able to reinvent over the years. Like, Henry Ford, the GM, they don't get to where they are present day without reinvention over time. So wondering, like, what is it like for you all being in the space now and trying to figure out, like, okay, well, what's next on the horizon for how we interact, engage, market, those type of things.
So we celebrated 100 years in 2021. And so that was, very much a monumental moment. I think we had a lot of excitement in that year, and we were actually coming on the brink of the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic in that year. And that was the year we celebrated our centennial. Ironic and interesting. And we were closed, right, for many months during the pandemic. First time Hot Sam's had ever been closed. Ever. Ever had ever closed its door was this pandemic. And, but when we opened, it was like, I don't know where people were going, but they were coming in this store ever since the pandemic. Business has been ever since the pandemic. There's just something, this is always what makes me think there's just something special about Hot Sam's and other legacy businesses. There's something that they have. There's I don't, and sometimes it's unexplainable. There's something, because it just don't make no sense. Because we've seen businesses open and close and open, but we're still here.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, right? And I do wonder, but I know what it is, right? And so it's just a special place. And so now it's 104. We were talking recently in the store, like, okay, what are we doing next, right? We feel like we need to, just kind of shake it up a bit. I've been getting inspired, even looking at other businesses open around us. That gets inspiring to me. And so I even encourage my father and Mr. and like, get out, walk around, see what other stores are doing. Because you can get so stuck in just being in your store doing things one way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sometimes challenging working with 100-year-old business and having these fresh ideas. And your father and his partner have been doing this for so much longer than you, right? They've been doing it for so much longer than me. So there is wisdom. There are things that they know. But then I come in like, well, I know a little bit too, right? And I got some fresh ideas. And so sometimes I have to work through that with them. But I think I've built up some trust because they've seen some success from the things that I've implemented. So it's easier now. And so one of the things I am recently inspired about is bringing back this idea of HS. I just think something about HS, Hot Sam's, HS. First of all, those two letters, right? It's more modern, but it's still going to be classic. So it is going to be a new brand.
Okay.
This is what's next. It is going to be a new brand that is implemented from Hot Sam's. It's just going to be for that modern man, just classic, timeless pieces, small capsule collections. So that's what I'm kind of brewing now. That's kind of what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Is more modern. And this HS, I believe, will be a great way for us to really engage online. We started doing online during the pandemic. First time we ever sold items online.
Wow.
During the pandemic at 100 years old. First time. But that is not as easy. And it's not as easy as that's like opening up a whole nother store.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it takes time. Right. So there's been some ebbs and flows with that. But I think HS being the exclusive online will be I think that's going to be where it's at. So we're going to try that. Right. So a lot of times it's just trying things, seeing what works. But does it make sense and seeing how will it work?
Very dope.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned other legacy businesses around the city. And I would love for you to talk about the work that you've done with the city of Detroit in order to get those legacy businesses not only acknowledged, but also bring awareness and resources for those businesses similar to a Hot Sam's that have been around for, I believe the threshold is 30 plus years.
It is. Yep. So, right, that was an idea birthed through the work that I had been doing at Hot Sam's. And I started noticing, okay, so legacy businesses need a unique, they need some special attention. They are a set apart sector of small business. And so I started looking at how we have a lot of resources and there's a lot of hype around new businesses coming into the city, which is great. I believe in the growth and we need that. But I started thinking like, well, what are we doing to serve these businesses that have been here? Like it just felt like a burden for me. And so then I started saying, oh, so this work of preserving the legacy was not just for Hot Sam's. But now you got your feet wet, right? But it's not just for Hot Sam's. Oh, preserving the legacy of other legacy businesses as well. And so I started kind of speaking with potential partners and things around a legacy business program. Like, first of all, what is that? Turns out it's a thing. I started Googling, right? Because this is how we find out stuff. I started Googling, like, how to preserve legacy. I don't know, something like that, like how to preserve legacy businesses. Come to find out, there are legacy business programs in other states.
Mm-hmm.
And so now Detroit is in step and in line with other cities and states that have implemented a legacy business program. And so this program, I got a lot of no's, by the way, too.
Okay.
I had this idea maybe about 3 or 4 years. Probably around 2021 when we turned 100 is when I started thinking about this idea of a legacy business project. But I went to City Council President Mary Sheffield and shared with her, this idea of a legacy business program, told her about other cities and states that are already doing it. And, she had a very similar mindset. Like, yes, we do need to preserve these legacy businesses. And so her and I were in agreement that this is something that needed to come to the city. And, she ended that conversation with me and said, I'm going to see what I can do. Like, I'm going to see what resources I can find. She came back with $500,000 to pilot the program in collaboration with the DEGC. And I consult with this program. And it is to do just what it was set out to do. It's to serve legacy businesses, to honor legacy businesses, to recognize legacy businesses, and have tangible resources, right? So money to support these legacy businesses. And so we're now in our second round. We now have 1.5 million that are going to go to legacy businesses. And so we're in that second round right now of grant applications. But it's not only that, we're going to have a map registry, a first of its kind map registry with just legacy businesses, so that visitors, people who are, tourism coming to the city.
Mm-hmm.
People love supporting historical legacy. They love the story behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this, so I'm very excited. We're gonna have this. We're kind of creating a second version of it right now. We have a pilot version of the map registry now, but we are creating a version 2.0. And so really excited that people will be able to shop, support, and find out where these legacy businesses are throughout the city.
What are some that you can name off the top of your head? Obviously, our Hot Sands for me is the number one on the list, but what other ones would you recognize as legacy businesses?
I mean, right? So I'm thinking Henry the Hatter, Burt's Marketplace, Simmons and Clark jewelry store. They're actually about to turn 100. Floods.
Oh wow,
Lafayette. Flood. Yeah.
Okay, all right. You said Lafayette.
Right?
Yeah, it's making sense.
I mean, they are. Yeah, Floods. I'm all downtown. Lafayette, American Coney Island.
Mm-hmm.
Right. A little one called Ham Shop. I mean, right. What else? Help me, my memory.
I had one, but I forgot it.
Let's name them out. You know what I love? Chapman's Jewelry. So this is what actually is so fun. Is I'm like, oh, I did not know. So this is actually, dang, I didn't even know some of these legacy businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great. And then again, to hear their story. And so it's been really exciting. But all of the districts, we're hitting all of it's not just for downtown, right?
Yeah.
Legacy businesses. So yeah, it's been nice to see. And so we'll have a full listing, a full directory of where people can shop and support these legacy businesses.
And in your research of these legacy businesses, are a majority of them family owned, would you say? Or it's a toss up?
No, a lot of them are family owned.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It would probably be majority.
Okay.
Yeah. From what like even the ones that I just named right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they would be.
What's the
majority for sure?
What's the secret sauce to having a successful family business, in your opinion?
I think people. I'm hearing it seems like serving the people. I think these legacy businesses have a love for the people, a love for the community. Not just that I love getting money from you.
Mm-hmm.
Not that, right? It's beyond that. It's above that. If you in business just for that, that is not legacy. That is not going to be the longevity.
Yeah.
I think you have to have a love for the people, not even just a love for what you do. That is needed as well. But a love for people and to serve people, I think, is the secret sauce. They actually love people. They actually love their community. And they actually love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the secret sauce.
Love that. Yeah. Could you talk more about the cultural and community relevance of Hot Sands to Detroit? Because we talked about the store, its beginnings, and the legacy, but would love for you to talk about the cultural and community relevance. Because like you said, there have been folks, famous people, infamous people that have came through those doors and shopped and got great service. But just like, what does Hot Sands mean to the city of Detroit?
It's funny. We say you never know who's going to walk through the doors of the store. And be loud. Because they open that door, they loud. They just loud from arrival. You're going to get that in the store. Cultural. I mean, it's just Hot Sam's. I was even listening today, just 3 men in the store, just chopping it up and talking about, what do we need to do as a people? They just sitting here talking about, just... And they're talking about past and how they were raised. And I mean, it's those type of conversations to me that happen in the store. It's a place where you can have conversation. It is a place where good dialogue that is needed, right? Dialogue that can impact change is had. I mean, anything from politics to sports to religion the city, right, is spoken about in the store. I mean, I think people come in the store to find out what the owners think about what's happening in the city, right? They want to, let me get the pulse here. What y'all think about this? So it's a place that has impact, right? It just has impact. I think it means so much too. It's a rites of passage store. Again, I talked about the generations that we serve and continue to serve. this is what made me start realizing the significance of Hot Sam's. Again, it was what other people were saying that the store meant to them. I mean, like, there are stories where we've just, I mean, and this is, it might not be so big, but it's like, where does this happen at? I mean, you need a suit, but you ain't got money for it. Well, sorry, you ain't got no money for it. We'll give you a suit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Funerals, we'll give you a suit. It's the only store I know you can kind of wheel and deal. I mean, I'll be telling them like, what? Because, I mean, and this is why we just continue to be successful, because it's not necessary. I mean, we're smart business people, right? I mean, we still have that, but it's not just about the money. It can't just be about the money. And so we just, that store, if you need help, we want to hear you out. We want to help you. And I just don't know where you can go to a store and have no money and leave out with something.
Yeah.
But we do that and do it like happily.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like not no, and not boastful. These are things, you know what I'm saying? We don't boast, we don't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just goes back to serving people, loving people.
So if I come see y'all tomorrow, I can get a suit off.
Right. We got it right. I don't know how much I should have said about. I'm just saying it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it just happens.
It's all about
loving people.
Yeah, it goes back to, like you said, serving your community and being able to look out for those folks and knowing that it'll come back in one way, shape, or form.
And it does.
Yeah.
It always does.
Yeah. What are some challenges that you see legacy businesses have? Because I talk to people all the time about startups, or maybe you're looking to hit that second level or tier in your business, but never on the podcast in terms of like legacy businesses that have stand the test of time. So I'm curious, what are some of those challenges that a legacy business would have versus someone who's just getting started or trying to scale up?
Well, I do think succession planning, what is next, right? Is this business just going to die with you? I think those are conversations we're having with a lot of legacy businesses. What is next? Do you have proper things in place for what is next, like legally? But shoot, help. I know we need good help right now at Hot Sam's. So good people who want to work. It's hard to find good help right now, and I think that's probably across the board. But legacy businesses are feeling that as well. Information, what's happening in the city, resources. Like, what we're noticing is, like, a lot of legacy businesses are not compliant within the city. So that means you can't technically do business with the city.
Okay.
So what this program, the Legacy Business Project, is helping a lot of legacy businesses get compliant. Because it was like, again, we're talking about 30-plus-year-old businesses. They probably didn't have to do some of the things to get compliant back then. But now, right, you have to be compliant to do business, get checks, get money, do business with the city.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're helping a lot of businesses now get compliant through this program. And so working within city departments are some challenges for legacy businesses, and keeping up with technology, for real, which, I mean, a lot of legacy businesses are still very in-person, very personal, which is great. I think that's a secret sauce as well.
Mm-hmm.
That face-to-face dialogue. But the legacy businesses also need to be flexible in terms of how to, what does technology look like? How can technology help your business, enhance your business? And so I think those are some things that legacy businesses are challenged with.
Yeah, like it's okay to take debit and credit cards in 2025. Okay. Yeah.
That was one of the things that Hot Sam's was not doing. We had an old cash register. I'm talking about, I don't know, them big box. Boop, 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 boop.
For how long?
A very long time.
Is the actual cash register still in the store? Okay, good.
But you know what I'm talking about? That old ancient type of cash register.
Yeah.
That that one. We had that.
What would you say are some challenges to running a family business? Because I know I've heard different schools of thoughts where some people are like, excuse my language, hell no, I ain't never worked with my family in a million years. And other people are like, I know no other way. So I was wondering, like, what are some of those challenges to operating a family-owned business?
It is challenging. It is challenging, right? And particularly, again, a bit because, again, they've been doing things for, such a way, and they've had success doing it. And then here I come in with some new ideas, and what you gonna tell me about business, right? So there has been some tug and pull and some it's challenging. It's not for the faint of heart. But it's also rewarding. It's rewarding to be able to help your family business, the business that has provided for you. That business helped pay for me to go to college with no student loans. I did not know. Little sidebar. I didn't know about student loans. I got out of college and I would hear people talk about student loans. I knew of not such a thing.
That's what's up.
I'm talking about this, and like as I got older, these things started to be. I think I don't know how I thought I was going to college. I mean, I had like a little scholarship here and there. They paid for me to go to to college with no student loan. I didn't know that was like student loans was a big thing. When you're done with college, and so like my family business helped to put me through college. And it's helping me and providing for me today as I'm serving it as well and providing for it as well. So it's rewarding, but it also is very challenging. I would not have, but I didn't call this to myself, right? Like I told you, I didn't even choose this for myself. This was something that was divinely orchestrated for me, and I just got in line with it. This was not anything that I sought after. I had not an interest in being a part of the family business. Not an interest. This is a calling still unto today. That's why it is sustaining for me. That is why now the Legacy Business Project is here, is because this is beyond me. I didn't seek this, right? This is a divine calling. And I believe that anything we try to build on our own that we haven't been called to, we'll have to sustain that thing on our own. That's hard. This is why we have people who work really hard. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with hard work. I work hard as well. But we work really hard. We're to a detriment of ourselves. But anything that God builds, that God ordains you, and God calls you to, He will be the one that will keep you in it. And when He does it, there is rest in it. There is peace in it. It's not so hard. So there's a lot of things that I do. It is challenging to work with my family business, but God, I've been called to this, so He's keeping me in it. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's next for Lauren? What's next for Hot Sam's? You talked about the branding and working on some new things with that, but overall, what do you see in your crystal ball for the business and for yourself?
I'm really focused right now and excited about HS. And excited about the relationships and partnerships that I can work with HS. My vision is to work with designers, young student designers coming up with HS. So I'm excited about collaboration. I'm excited about partnership and building more relationships. I think that's so paramount. We got to work with one another. With new businesses, with old businesses, we got to work together. We actually need one another. So I'm excited for just more relationship building, more partnerships. And HS is at the forefront of my mind right now. And then just continue to be just divinely led in whatever's next. I'm a person that when it's up, right, when the season is up, when I feel like it's up, I'm okay with walking away. I'm not trying to force anything. I did this thing called Detroit's Black Wall Street. Where I had Black business vendors right on our block of Monroe in downtown Detroit. I did that for 3 years in a row. And then we ended with a big thing in Campus Martius. Hot Sam's did a fashion show. Again, 3 years in a row. And we brought a lot of Black businesses downtown and on our block. And 3 years, that was only supposed to be 1 year. That was our centennial celebration, was to reimagine Black Wall Street that happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I found out is that in 1921, when Tulsa, when that community burnt up or, got raided or,
Mm-hmm.
What happened with those Black businesses there. I just thought it was interesting that happened in 1921 because that was the same year that Hot Sam's
Mm-hmm.
was opening its doors by a Jewish family, but would later be Black owned and operated.
Yeah.
And so I was like, for our centennial, let's do a Detroit's Black Wall Street. Anyway, it turned out to be 3 years in a row. And people still ask me, when's the next one? You going to do that again? And I don't feel like it is. After 3 years, I felt it wasn't even supposed to be no more than 1 year. But that third year, I felt like it was final.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, then the Detroit Legacy Business Project came to be shortly after that. So
Wow.
I just felt, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that was for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was for that season. It was great and it was powerful. It was impactful. But sometimes we continue to drag things on with it maybe. And I also said, there's other people doing, Black business vendors. I don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to all do the same thing or just come together and do one big thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this. You doing it over here. I did it. I'm done with that. And then now I'm into Detroit's, the Detroit, what is it? Legacy Business Project. Right? And so that door closed or that season was up. It was time. And I'm okay with letting things go. And so we'll see, how long. I hope that the Legacy Business Project continues for years to come. And so we'll see what's next for that. And I'm excited for HS, for Hot Sam's.
Nice.
Yeah.
So where can the people tap in with you? They want to partner with Hot Sam's. They want to connect with you, follow your journey, show love to Hot Sam's. How can they get connected with you?
Come down to the store. We at 127 Monroe, right in downtown Detroit. Hot Sam's is on all the platforms, mainly Facebook and Instagram at Hot Sam's Detroit. And that's how you can connect with us. Yeah. Or even our website, hotsamsdetroit.com.
Perfect. Lauren, thank you for stopping by the podcast today. Very enlightening conversation, a bit of a trip down memory lane and being able to be exposed to more of these legacy businesses and the work that you're doing with Hot Sam's is definitely appreciated and needed. So we are happy to have you on the show today.
Can I just say I like what you're doing?
Thank you.
And I want you to continue to do what you're doing. I think it's great. I think you're sowing seeds into Black businesses, Black entrepreneurs, Black creatives. And I just expect, for you to have a harvest from what you're sowing, the seeds that you've sown from Black Friday podcast. So I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. From your mouth to God's ears. So I appreciate it. Amen. Everybody watching, listening, we're going to tap in with y'all soon. Peace.